All right, folks, just 12 more days until Election Day, and it's coming down to the wire for both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump as the polls show they are neck and neck. Let's bring in CBS News campaign reporter and attorney Katrina Kaufman for the latest on the Trump campaign. Katrina, the former president staked this claim over Georgia. That is where Vice President Harris is campaigning today. In fact, she's bringing out the heavy guns. Barack Obama, former President Barack Obama, is set to take to the stage for the very first time with Kamala Harris. What is the former president, Trump in this case, what's the strategy for him in Georgia?
Good morning, Vlad. So yes, Trump is really focused on winning Georgia, and two elements of this strategy are, one, encouraging people to vote early. At one of his rallies yesterday, he was saying, vote early, or both of them really, vote early, although he also can't help himself. He always has to caveat it with, but also be careful, make sure that your vote is counted, because we have to remember that Georgia was an epicenter of controversy back in 2020. It's where the infamous call to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger happened, with Trump encouraging him to find almost 12,000 votes. But Trump wants people to get out and vote as soon as possible. Another element there is low propensity voters. There are all these Trump Force 47 volunteers going door to door, trying to encourage people who haven't typically come out to vote. They're letting them know how they can get registered, how they can cast their votes, and the campaign thinks that this could make a big difference for Trump in the state, because what they really want is for this election to be too big to rig, for the margin to be so large that no one can question that Trump has won there. I think we also have some sound from one of his rallies yesterday.
We're going to win Georgia, we're going to defeat Kamala Harris, and we are going to make America great again. If Kamala gets 4 more years, she will obliterate our economy, kill millions of jobs, and destroy your family finances forever.
And of course, a big part of Trump's strategy is criticizing Kamala Harris. He says that she'll be bad for the economy, that she will allow thousands and thousands of migrants to come across the border and take jobs. But today she'll be in Georgia giving her message with Obama.
All right. So the other thing, Katrina, that I want to talk about is the current vice president has comments about those comments made by the former chief of staff to President Trump, John Kelly, in which he called Trump a fascist. He first defined what fascism is and what a fascist is by the textbook definition of the word, and then he applied it to the former president. There's audio recording of that. Let's remind our viewers that John Kelly is a retired 4-star Marine general. He's a Gold Star father, having lost his son on the field of battle. Kamala Harris, in making her case to the American people yesterday in a town hall with CNN, essentially echoed what John Kelly said, given that so many of the former president's cabinet members and folks who've worked for him have used the very same language that General Kelly is using. How is he responding to that?
Yeah, you're right, Vlad. Last night, Vice President Kamala Harris said that she agreed that Trump is a fascist. What Trump is saying is that what John Kelly says is a lie. He said that Kelly has Trump derangement syndrome. He called Kelly a bad general. He says that he didn't want his advice anymore, and he told Kelly to move on. So really, he's just trying to discredit Kelly and discredit his claims and these stories that he's telling.
All right, bad general, that's up to debate, but let's just remember that General Kelly has served his country honorably for decades, as did his son, and Donald Trump received deferments during the Vietnam War. All right, Katrina Kaufman for us, reporting from Detroit. Thank you.